Tonight I'm gonna make my family Japanese inspired dish. It's my take on it. I am gonna do flank steak with teriyaki sauce and garlic, and then I'm gonna make broccoli stir fry with a little bit of chili and garlic. And the third one, because my son's girlfriend is vegetarian, I'm gonna make her a tofu dish that I learned a long time ago from a friend of mine. And I am gonna use ginger on top of the tofu, and I'm gonna show you how easy it is, and it's absolutely delicious. They like sticky rice, so I'm gonna do Japanese inspired sticky rice, my take on it as well. Here we go. I'm gonna do soak the rice, the sticky rice, and get all the little bits off it like the dust. Rinse it nicely in water and let it soak. I have my rice. This part is important. I like to rinse the rice out really well. Keep moving it around with your hand. And as you can see, the milky water, you want to get rid of all that milkiness. That's all the starch. Do that. This is my take on how I do my cooking. So I take some mirin, which is like it's sweet cooking seasoning for Japanese food, I guess. And I put about a tablespoon into my rice because it gives it a little bit of a sour, sweet taste, the rice, and it makes it nice and sticky. And I put a little bit of salt, not much, about I try to go low on the salt, so about half a teaspoon, little less than half a teaspoon of salt. I'm terrible with measuring. I like measuring in my hand, so that's ready. And then I put a drop of oil. I grabbed some grapeseed oil because you need the high temperature oil to stir fry in, so I like using this when I'm doing oriental cooking. So just about half a tablespoon. I'm prepping the tofu, which I'm going to put in this plate and keep aside, because what we're going to do is give it a very light pan fry. So it's got a lot of water in it, and I like the firm tofu and then I'm going to cut it into 6 pieces each, and I'm going to transfer onto the plate and set aside, because prepping all my food right now. To eat this plain on the rice, it tastes so good. And I'm trying to watch my diet, so this is really good. I know people say that it's bad for you for estrogen, but you know, if you balance out your food and you know what you're eating and you eat a little bit of it at a time, I don't think it matters. But who am I? I'm going to prep my broccoli into pieces. I've used 4 little stalks. That should be up. I've cut them into long pieces like that. Try and keep them consistent so they'll all cook the same time. I'm going to blanch it in hot water in a little bit and set it aside, and that means just quickly in and out of hot water. In there I'm going to use garlic, which I've chopped up about 3 cloves. I list all the ingredients in the description box below. Little cloves of garlic like that, chopped up small. And then I am going to put a chili in there, so I'm going to slice it up really small. If you want, you can scoop the seeds out to make it not so spicy. So I'm going to keep that aside so it's all prepped, and then when I'm ready to cook, then it's easy. You'll see how I'm going to put them in and incorporate it. Dinner is so simple with food. I've learned the hard way. I've learned all on my own. Keep it as simple as possible, and the food always speaks for itself. I love cooking, and I have a lot of upcoming videos to show you guys. This is something that I'm very passionate about, and I'm not a pro by any means. I'm just a mom, and I love cooking. Onto the meat. I have about 2 pounds, close to 2 pounds, a little under, for the 3 of us. I'm going to slice them into really thin pieces, and I'm going to stick them in this bowl. And technically, it's better if you can marinate it for a little bit in the fridge, but I am in a bit of a rush to get this done because I was out today, and I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it. Also, you always slice it, the grain is going this way, and you always slice it across, because if you cut it the same way as the grain, it's really tough. So make sure you do that, and do them in thin slices like so. It's hard for me doing this because I'm videotaping it myself, but I'm going to try and do a zoom in to show you just how thin the pieces are. It's really, really thin. And then I put them in this bowl. And okay, I'm about to prep my broccoli. So I've got a pot with water, and you put a little bit of salt, and I like to put a drop of oil, about a teaspoon. This makes the broccoli come out really a beautiful green. Otherwise it gets all soggy and yuck, the color. This keeps the color looking vibrant, like really pretty. I just took down all my Christmas decorations. So in my orchid pot, I stuck a little heart because Valentine's Day is coming up, and it just gives it a different look. You can see here, it's the same orchid pot that I had at Christmas, and I took all the pine cones out and stuck little hearts in there. The hearts are from the dollar store, which is so pretty. You wouldn't even know that they were from there. Like, I'm going to do a close-up of it. And my orchids, they're still going from before Christmas. I always light a scented candle, like a very mild scented candle when I'm cooking, because I don't like the smell of food staying in my house. I'm going to turn my vent on so that the smell goes out. My broccoli is steamed. As you can see, it's the beautiful green I was telling you that would be just by adding that little drop of water. Is my little secret. I rinsed it with cold water to stop the cooking process, because I'm going to saute it very lightly in a little bit of olive oil and some garlic. So I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to move on to the meat. I'm going to use this teriyaki sauce packet that I picked up at Loblaws. And I'm going to empty the whole packet in the sauce. Again, typically you should let it marinate, but I'm short for time today, so I'm just going to empty the whole packet in about 2 pounds of the sliced beef, just like so. I wouldn't add a lot of salt to this because it sometimes tends to be a lot of salt in the soya sauce, which is in the teriyaki sauce. And I'll just add just about a 1/4 teaspoon, a little less than 1/4 teaspoon. I'm going to throw some out. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of cornstarch, or maybe a teaspoon and a half. A little bit of this Chinese cooking wine. I will list the name underneath, and it says rice cooking wine. It has like a alcohol, little bit of an alcoholic smell, I guess. I don't know. I just add a little bit in there, and a very little bit of pepper, about a little less than a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, because you don't want it too hot. Then I'm going to take 3 cloves of garlic that I chopped up earlier, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on top, and about the same amount of chopped ginger in there. And I'm going to just give it a mix with my hands, like so. Here's my onion. I'm going to slice it in half, turn it over, again in half, and again in 6 pieces. 8 pieces. So I've got my green onions. I'm going to cut them into little chunks about an inch, a little bit over an inch, exactly the same. With cooking, you always try to keep everything the same, and also it makes for good presentation when you're presenting the food, and that way people want to eat it. Because it's so skinny, I might not be able to slice them into long strips like that, but I'm going to try. Normally when they're fatter, you can hold them and slip them into like little pieces so that you can decorate the meat when it's cooked. I'm going to do my tofu. So first up, I'm going to put a little bit of the grapeseed oil. You have to do this kind of oil, not olive oil for Asian cooking. And a little drop of sesame seed oil. This smells so delicious. I wish you guys could smell it. Just about half a teaspoon. Give it a swish around. And my stove is on high. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. And I'm going to take my tofu. You can see all the water has come out of it. And I'm going to just put it in this pan to fry it very lightly. At the same time, I'm going to do my broccoli. And I'm going to turn on, I think I'll do it on the back stove because it's not as fierce. I wish when I bought this house that I could have put the stove of my choice. I didn't have an option. I had to go with this one because the cutout wasn't big enough for one of the heavy-duty chef stoves that they have, because that's what I really wanted. But instead I had to put this in because it fit this space. So my tofu is starting to sizzle, and I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to keep a spatula so I can turn it over. This is going to get hot. Again, I've given it a quick spray. This one is non-stick. And I'm going to use a little bit of the grapeseed oil in here. Just a little bit. You can hear the sizzling. I'm going to turn my fan on because I can't stand the smell. And I can put that light on as well. I'm going to sprinkle the ginger so it kind of caramelizes with the tofu. I've done like about that thick a piece, about 1.5 inches sliced into matchstick pieces. And now for the back pan, I'm going to put my remaining garlic, which is 3 cloves, also chopped, and the 1 chilli. I'm going to turn it down because I don't want it to burn. I want it to caramelize. And the garlic is starting to get a little brown, so I've turned down the heat. And I'm going to add my broccoli into that and let it fry very lightly so it caramelizes on the bottom. I'm going to try and see if this is ready to flip over. It's starting to get a little brown, but you want it to be crispy, so I'm going to watch it and turn it up a little. And there's enough salt and everything. And when it's a little bit more sauteed, I'm going to add a little bit of the sweet soya sauce for my broccoli. My tofu is starting to caramelize. I'm not sure if you guys can see it. I'm going to bring it in closer. My broccoli is almost done. I'm going to put about a teaspoon drizzle all over that. And the reason I'm doing this is because it's a Japanese inspired dish, dinner tonight, so I'm doing that. My tofu is browning really well. It's starting to stick, but always try to move it around and flip them over so you try and get all the sides to brown. Hard because it's so soft, you don't want to make it break. If it breaks, don't worry. That's almost done. And when it's done, I do these little bottles up and I put the tags on so it's easy when it's in the drawer to pull out. I take a few sesame seeds and sprinkle it so it's pretty to look at. Take white and a little bit of black. It's all about the presentation, as I said earlier. Those are ready. So I'm going to shut that stove off and I'm going to concentrate on this. My beef is starting to marinate nicely there, so that'll be the last thing to do. Okay, the tofu is almost ready. I'm just going to turn that off. I'm going to use some hoisin sauce just to sprinkle on top. I need about 1/4 cup. You take your green onions that you chopped up and you need to cut them in half, like lengthwise, because then it curls up. So when you sprinkle it on here, they all just curl up. I'm going to save a little bit for my beef to decorate the beef with. That's done. I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to use my lid to just cover it so it stays warm. To spray my wok so nothing sticks. All my dishes are from Williams-Sonoma and they are all clad because they're really a good quality to fry in. I'm going to use, I guess, the same spatula so it works. I'm going to add that. I'm going to add a little bit of the grapeseed oil, about 2 tablespoons, about 1 teaspoon of the sesame seed oil because it just gives it that lovely flavoring. Let it heat up We've already added the garlic and everything in here, so we don't need anything else. I'm going to take my one onion that I chopped up into cubes. Onions are in. And I'm going to give it a quick fry, like semi-cook them, because you want them kind of crunchy to put on top of the beef when it's done. Some chefs, they put a little bit of oil with the meat when they marinate, but I'm trying to cut down on using a lot of oil because I find that, you know, we use a lot of oil for frying, and I kind of cut down what I put in, so this is going to work to fry that in. Okay, I fried it for about 3 minutes, like 2 minutes. And I'm taking it out and I'm going to set it aside till I'm ready to put it on top of the meat. Because I don't want to add any more. In goes the beef. Always put it away from you because you don't want it to splash. And give it a good old fry. If you need to, you can always add a little bit of water. I took my eyes off it for a little bit, so it got a little burnt here. And I like my meat cooked, so you can serve it a little bit medium rare, which I normally do, but I prefer it more on the cooked side than the medium side. It's starting to stick, so you really have to watch it. And if you want, as I mentioned, I use the same bowl and add a little bit of water so that the sticking doesn't take place. And it releases all the caramelized parts, the water. Okay, it is ready. The meat is all cooked. I'm going to add my onions back in there. I will use the remainder of my green onions to decorate. How pretty is that? I feel like if Yan can cook, so can you. Served. There's my broccoli, my tofu, the stir-fry beef, and I have some Japanese hot sauce that I picked up at the supermarket. I was told about this sauce through a friend of mine who is a chef at one of my favorite restaurants here in Toronto, Opus. And that's what it looks like. It is delicious. I don't know what the name is. I can take a picture and post it on the website. The rice is all ready. It's all a sticky rice. You always have to use a spoon like that and serve. So I'm going to start serving everyone, and everyone can give their comments as to. This is Japanese infused, so I'm serving it in Asian bowls. I'm going to put a couple of broccoli pieces, whoops, a couple of tofu pieces, and some beef and onion. This is for the kids. Who's going first?
Me.
You're a vegetarian, you don't get meat.
Thanks.
Okay. Tofu like Lily.
Mmm, delicious.
Beef's really good.
Did you try the broccoli?
It's like very juicy.
Perfectly done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just taping this to see what's left of the food.
Not
And
much.
they've been for seconds. I'm going to be doing another video for next week. I will do some other type of cuisine. I love food. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe and give it a thumbs up. And who's waiting for the crumbs? Are you?